My name is Joel McQuagge, and I'm with the University of Florida Department of Animal Sciences. And today we're going to talk with you a little bit about trailering and trailer loading. I thought we'd start with a few different types of trailers and discuss some of our pros and cons. Today we've got a 2-horse straight load with a ramp. This trailer has full escape doors, so obviously the horses walk in, the handler is able to walk all the way through, walk out the escape door, hook the horse up, attach the butt bar, and raise the ramp. Now, one of the things that I would caution you about is the way I just said that. We'll want to have someone on the back end to make sure that the butt bar gets attached before we attach our horse in the front, because we don't want the horse to become spooked and pull back on us. You'll notice that the owner of this trailer has added some shavings to this trailer, and some people will do that to absorb urine, to provide more cushioning for a horse on a long trip. It's not necessary on short trips, but if it's something that makes you more comfortable, by all means you can do that. You'll notice on our 2-horse trailer we've got a hay bag in the front of where the left horse would be. Some of you may wish to offer your horses something to eat while they're traveling. If it makes you feel better and it makes them feel better, I don't have a problem with that, but I don't usually offer my horses anything to eat unless it's going to be on a long trip, and then I monitor how much hay they eat. The last thing I want my horse to do is to tank up on hay and not drink water well on a long trip and to colic when I get to my destination. So, that being said, it's really important to me that every time I stop, and I like to stop every 3 to 4 hours, make sure my horses are comfortable, make sure my ventilation system is working as it should, and everything looks good in my trailer, and offer my horses water. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean I need to unload them then, particularly in a big trailer where they've got plenty of room. I may leave them on that trailer for an extended period of time, but I always offer them water every chance I can. Here we have a 2-horse slant load. This trailer's got a rear tack compartment on it, which makes the entrance for our horse narrower. It also does not have an escape door. I don't see that as a problem. However, that means the owner or the horse handler has got to lead their horse onto the trailer, either attach him and then shut our stall divider, or lead him on, walk back around him, shut our stall divider, and then walk back around to the head side and make an attachment in order to handle the horse safely. Our 2-horse trailer has bus windows or sliding windows on the rear. I'm okay with this. I don't like them as well as a slatted rear window, but it does provide more protection for our horse. But one of the things that we've got to consider is it makes it hotter on our horse. And every time we add a horse to a trailer, 1-horse, 2-horse, 3-horse, we add more heat to our trailer. One thing that's important on a trailer like this with sliding windows is that we have good roof vents and that we open those. And for me, I like to open my roof vents towards the front to scoop as much air in warm weather. And then if I'm hauling in cold weather and I've got my trailer more enclosed, I'll still open those roof vents, but maybe I'll open them rearward. It's really important for me to get some heat out of there and give my horses good ventilation. Here we have a 4-horse slant load. It also has a rear tack, so again, we've got this more narrow area for our horse to make an entrance. The one thing that I do like about this trailer is it does have a stallion stall or a stud stall in the first compartment. This gives us a solid wall on our first stall, so that if we are hauling a stallion, or we're hauling a stallion with mares, and we've got a stallion or just a young horse that has some challenges with loading, it gives us a place to put him and have him be safe. For me personally, if I'm only hauling 3 horses, it gives me a place to put shavings, feed, a wheelbarrow, other items that maybe I'll want to haul to the horse show. Our 4-horse trailer's got slats on the butt side of the horse. This gives us an opportunity to be able to slide plexiglass windscreens in if we choose to have them. For us here in Florida, just about year-round, I like this trailer very well with those slats out. I really, really appreciate being able to give my horses some good ventilation, and so slats on the butt side are something I'm pretty fond of. Here we have a half-top stock trailer. This trailer is found on some ranches, certainly in Florida and throughout the southeast and the southwest. It's halfway covered in the front, gives us an opportunity to be able to haul our horses in the front section. If we need to load cattle on with our horses, we have an opportunity to be able to pull cattle onto this trailer if we're roping and doctoring in the pasture. The one thing that I'd like to point out on a trailer like this is oftentimes these stock trailers have got wire cattle panels on the floor of them. If that's what I have in my trailer before I haul my horses, I would want to put a rubber mat like I've got on this one. to be able to protect my horse's feet. I worry a little bit about hauling horses on cow panels. Number one, if they're shod, sometimes a horse will catch a foot inside the square of a cow panel. And number two, if they're going to ride very much distance, particularly over pasture, and they ride on top of one of those cow panels and they're barefoot, they can get a pretty significant bruising injury. So I really like the rubber mats that we've put in this trailer. Here we've got a typical stock trailer. It has two large compartments. It is very well ventilated. It has slats on the head side and the rear side. It does not have any segmentation or any dividers for our horses. And so we've got two big compartments. We can certainly haul horses successfully on this trailer, but we'll typically stack them herringbone. Maybe we'll put 2 or 3 in the front section. Maybe we'll put 2 or 3 in the back section and use our cut gate. I want my horses to get along pretty well if I'm going to haul them saddled or tied in this trailer or side by side in this trailer. The one thing I like really well about this trailer though is it gives me an opportunity to be able to haul a mare and a foal in one compartment. And I guess I'd comment a little bit, and we'll talk more about this a little bit later, but if I'm going to haul a horse by himself in a compartment, sometimes I'll put him on there and just turn him loose, shut the cut gate on it, and let him ride in whatever manner he'd like to. So for the horse that I'm going to load on the trailer, I want him to yield well to pressure. I want him to be able to lead well. I want him to be able to back well. I want him to be able to go forward, backward, left, and right, and all 4 diagonals. Okay, that's important to me in order to be able to keep my horse safe, keep myself safe, and have a horse that'll load willingly onto a trailer. And so for me, with a trailer like this, I'd like my horses to be able to lead on, lead off, lead on, back off. Okay, I will never ask a horse to turn around in a trailer to lead off if the trailer's not wide enough for the horse to comfortably turn around. So let's lead this horse onto the trailer. We'll probably load on now. I'm just going to load him, and if he loads, we'll just move on with where we were, and we'll find our problem loader in a minute. So when we loaded this horse, you'll notice that when we walked him up to the trailer, he stopped for a minute and put his nose down, okay? One of the things that we have to understand with our horses is they have poor depth perception close to their body. And so that gave our horse an opportunity to put his nose down, check his step up point, and then go on to the trailer. I never discipline a horse, or I never pick that head up when a horse walks up, drops his nose. Let him do that. I don't care if it takes an extra second or two. This horse is still young, he's still learning to get on a number of trailers, and so I'm going to encourage him to think his way onto the trailer. I never want a horse to punish a horse when he's trying for me, okay? The horse led well onto the trailer, he's standing quietly, we led him all the way to the front, we've tied him, we've stepped back out of his way, and we're letting him relax on there. Now we're going to ask him to come off. This trailer is wide enough for our horse to comfortably turn around in. Again, you watch, he's putting his head down to decide to step off. We'll let him take his time. I'm not going to pull on him. I'm going to get out of his way. Don't want him to jump on me. But if he gets worried about it and he scrambles, it's all right. Okay? Again, he's young, he's learning. He got a little worked up over that first step off. I don't care about that. I'm going to repeat it until I get the desired results. And that, when I say repeat it, that doesn't just mean today. That means today, tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. Let's do it again. Puts his nose down. He checks the trailer out. He's not hauled in this trailer in a long time. I keep him pointing to the front, and I let him think about it. And I'm out of his way. I'll hang out with him up here for a few minutes. We'll let him become comfortable. This time we'll turn him around in the other direction. We'll walk him back out to the end. And again, he puts his head down. We give him all the time in the world to think about it. I don't care how long it takes. All I'm going to do with his head is point him in the correct direction and let him take a minute. Okay? Hopped off a little bit. It's all right. A little more quiet that time, we're good with that. Give him an opportunity to think about it. Now maybe on a horse like this, I might take him over and lead him around a little bit in the grass, let him think about what we just did. I don't have to repeat this immediately following. The other thing that I think it's important, and hopefully we'll get into a trailer loading problem horse here in a little while, I don't have to solve all a horse's challenges in one training session. I'm going to look for tries from my horse, I'm going to reward those tries from my horse, and then I'm going to give him an opportunity to think about it, and then we'll come back and we'll do it again either later that day or maybe we'll do it again the next day. Just encourages. Good, I'm okay with that. That's better than the first time. Okay, that's 3 times, you did okay. Maybe we'll do something different with him now. So I'd like to comment one quick time a little bit about the lead on, lead off, lead on, back off. And for me, I want my horses to be able to do all of those things comfortably. There are places that a horse may go where they lead all their horses off their stock trailers, and I want my horses to be able to do that well. There are plenty of places where they only back their horses off of a trailer, or maybe if I've got a slant load trailer and my horse is in the rear compartment, or I've got a side-by-side, turning him around, or I've got a narrow trailer, turning him around is not an option. So he's got to be able to back respectfully off. That's important to me that he do that well as also. Some horse owners don't want to lead their horse onto a trailer. They want to be able to send their horse onto a trailer. So there's several different ways that we can teach that. Here I've got a driving whip that's fairly long. I'm going to put my lead around my horse's neck, and I'm going to ask him to step onto the trailer with this driving whip. Here we've got a young horse. He's never been on this half top. We're going to see how he loads. Again, we'd like him to load like a gentleman, and we'll see what we get along with, how we get along with him. Pretty good. Didn't seem to be phased. I always like to let them hang out for a few minutes in the front of a trailer, and a trailer that's a big stock trailer. Let them know that they can be comfortable on here. Then we'll ask him to back out. Okay? Good. Got out a little quick, snorted a little bit. Maybe the trailer sounded a little different to him, and again, he's a young horse. I'm good with all that though. The thing that I can't overstress is for horses to be good loaders, they have to be loaded and hauled often. One of the mistakes that we make as horsemen oftentimes is we spend a long time training our horse to be good at the horse show, the rodeo, the trail ride, and we don't spend enough time training them to haul well. Horses that haul well respect people's space and get hauled frequently. I can't overstress that. In order for a horse to be a good hauler, he needs to get on the trailer a lot. Horses learn via repetition for a number of things, and this is one of those things. Let's go again. Good, loaded well. We're gonna let him hang out up here for a minute or two. Be quiet. I don't want him backing up until I ask him to back off. Okay, let's back him off. Nice and slow and quiet. He's looking for that step off. All right with that. Again, he's a young horse. Needs to be hauled a bunch, but he loaded pretty well. We're going to load this gelding on this slant load. He's a big gelding. He's got a little narrower opening to go into in the slant load. Again, we want him to load quietly. And I like to walk on with him. If that makes you uncomfortable and you want to send your horse on, go around and hook him up, or send your horse on, shut his divider, and then go around and hook him on, that's certainly fine. But I think that a horse that has been hauled enough and hauls well and hauls quietly, I should be able to walk on with him. Most of the time I'm by myself. I'd like to be able to walk on. I'd like to be able to hook him up without any fear of him pulling back. I'd like to then be able to shut his divider, then go to my next horse. Let's see how this horse does. Okay, we don't care if he has to think about it a little bit. And I don't mind getting on here with him and getting on here ahead of him. A number of people think that they have to lead on at the exact moment that their horse gets on. I don't find that to be true. I'm very comfortable getting on ahead of a horse, getting out of his way, and letting him see that I can get on this trailer and be comfortable too. I'm going to gently encourage his face, ask him to get on the trailer. A little more encouragement, a little more encouragement. Not a lot. I can't pull a horse onto a trailer. Okay. Good. Nice and quiet. We'll walk him to the front. I'm going to hook him up. I'm going to ask him to step over. I'm going to give him a minute. Hook his divider, and I'm ready for my next horse. When I go to take him off the slant load, I'm just going to do the reverse. I'm going to walk on. I'm going to open his divider. I'm going to take loose his attachment from the trailer. I'm going to hook my lead on, and I'm not going to let him back out until I ask him to back out. I don't want him to pull on me. I don't want him to fight me. I don't want him to push me to back out until I'm ready for him to back out. Then I'd like him to back out like a gentleman. That's okay. Wasn't perfect, but it was okay. Got a gelding named Emma here. Don't ask me where the name came from. Get Emma one step closer here. Maybe go to the right. Maybe go to the left just a little bit. Like a little bit more foot action there. Got that. Now I'll get up here, get out of Emma's way. Ask Emma to come up and check out this two horse. Gentle asks. Yes, this is the real world. All right, back to Emma. Got another trailer leaving the arena. A little distraction for Emma. Ask her to walk up a step. And when I ask her to walk up a step, I'm going to ask her to walk up at a 45 rather than just straight forward. So I've got a little bit of tug going, got that outside leg. Good. Good. I let Emma come up, just be quiet, check it out. Foot moved a little bit, she got distracted by the other trailer leaving, that's all right. I'll move Emma again. Good. Just thinking about loading. Right there, the head went down, she checked out the step, she's checking out the inside of the trailer. That right foot's moved twice for us. I'm just offering her an opportunity to step in. Do a lot of pulling here, particularly with a young horse. And I would tell you this would be very similar if we've had a horse that's been in a trailer accident I've worked with a few of those that have been hurt inside of a trailer via an automobile accident, and they're afraid of that trailer. But we sure want to take a long time to rebuild that confidence. Things move around a little bit. I can move it around a little bit because she may hit that with her hip. Good. We'll just wait. Got a left foot this time. Two fronts. It's all right. Let her do that. We'll back her up a step. Okay? Let's progress. Pause a little bit, she's a little frustrated, a little bit scared. Not bad, some of her just doesn't want to get on. We'll just hang out. Ask her to step up again. Now I'm going to try to get a step out of her. I'm going to put a big pull right there. Big pull at a 45, kind of get her back close, good. Now I'm going to wait. She's at a little bit of an angle for me, so it's not quite the 45 that I'd like it to be, or the diagonal pull that I'd like it to be. I'm going to ask her again. One more time. Okay, just a pull and a release. Good. Just thought about it? Gets distracted by the other horses. She's getting a little sideways on us. We'll turn back over here. So now I'm going to ask Justin to why don't you step around to the front of the trailer and grab a flag? And he's going to bring a flag around. He's going to tap this horse's hip over a little bit, get him kind of back centered. He's not going to ask a lot, just a little bit. Go that side and drive her back that way. Hit him back that way. Nope, other way. Yep, good. Right there. Good. Now he's just going to hang out a little bit. Let him think about this. Good. Right there. Right there. Now, it's important that he doesn't go to wailing on this horse when this horse is thinking about getting in, because then he's going to punish that try. And in a minute, when this horse relaxes, and the horse going back out a little bit, it's all right. I asked him to stop a little bit, but I didn't tug on him hard, and I don't get in a hurry right here. I let him kind of chill. Again, we know he's never been in a two horse. We know he's never been in a trailer with a rear tack. We want this horse to have some confidence. We'll make a mistake if we go to pounding on him right here. I'm just going to wait. Now Justin's going to ask him again. Okay? A little bit of encouragement from the flag. If he comes forward, great. Good. Did come forward. Good. And he gets right up here. He wants to stick his head out the window. I don't want to get mushed against the window. So I'm going to let him take a peek. And I'm going to stand at his left shoulder here. And hang out. And I'm not going to close him up at this time. He's a little nervous, a little agitated, which is why he's shoving me with his nose. Okay? I'm not going to get on to him too hard for that because I don't want him to back out until I ask him to back out. but I think maybe we can now. Same way going out as we came in. A little worried about it. You can see him squatting down. Worried about that first step. So I'm going to take my time here. Ask again. Good. When feet move, I relax. Now, if he drops a foot off, I may push him out. Sometimes you get a great big horse that's never backed out of a trailer and they'll drop that first foot off and it scares them and they'll lunge back in. I am a little conscious of that. Okay, I do want him to back up, but I also don't want him to be afraid, and he's afraid right now. He's worried about that backup. Worried about that first step. You see how he squatted down right there? Good. It's all right. So now I'm going to hold him up right here. Rather than just walking him away, we're going to hang out right here and have a little get together. Be quiet. Then I'm going to walk him away. I'm not immediately going to put him back in. Okay? I'm going to reward him for getting in the trailer. And my reward for him getting in the trailer is walking him over here, letting him hang out for a minute. Just be a horse. I'll give him a minute or two before I put him back on. Tries to crowd me a little bit. And again, that's his lack of confidence. So I'll get him back off of me, just back him up a little step, let him stand out in his own space. I want him to stand right there. Don't want him to come up and get in my lap. Well, I can walk into his space anytime I want to, but he can't come into my space unless I invite him. See right there when I get right here, how he starts trying to crowd me a little bit with his left shoulder? That's not something I'm willing to have. So again, I can go in his space anytime I want to. He can't crowd into my space unless I invite him in. Right there, he takes that step in and I didn't invite him in. But that's his lack of confidence. Young horse like this, who's not a stallion, I won't punish him for vocalizing like that, but I'm going to back him up a step and get his attention back and let him kind of chill right there. Okay? We'll wait on him a minute. Okay, I'm going to bring him to me, and then I'm going to back him up again. Right there when that head pushes on me though, I'm not going to encourage that. Good. We're going to come right back up here again. One more step closer before I step in. Get out of his way. Good. So right now I'm inviting him onto the trailer. I'm not telling him he's got to get onto the trailer. There'll come a time for that, but we're not there yet with this yearling. That being said, we're going to offer some encouragement in just a minute. I'm going to give him a little tug. Okay, not a big one, just a little bit. His feet are going to move, his head's going to drop. He really doesn't want to get on here. But Justin will encourage him in a minute, but not yet. If he gets sideways over against that door, he'll bring his hip back around and get his right shoulder off that trailer door. Go ahead and encourage him to step over just a little bit. Good. Nice. It's all right. Right there, I don't want to punish that. even though it's a little bit resistant on his part, shows that his brain is engaging, he knows what we're asking him to do, and he's just not decided he's got to do it yet. We'll take that. Horse just a yearling. A lot of things he doesn't know about life yet. If he were an older horse that had loaded and hauled many times and just decided he didn't want to haul anymore, we would handle this a little different. But for a young horse, this is kind of how I like to think about it. I'm going to ask Justin to encourage him again. Good. That's all right. We'll let him hang, and I'll hang out here with him. If you're not comfortable with being inside the trailer with your horse, find somebody that is. If you believe your horse is dangerous, then fix that before you ask him to load. Okay, let's ask him to back out again. Better than the first time. All right with that. Took a deep breath. Give him a little attaboy. Ask him to back up one more step, so he's out of my space. Then we'll go back over here and we'll let him chill again for a minute. So this is a good opportunity also to offer this little yearling some other learning things. Again, when we stop him, he wants to kind of get into our space. If he gets nervous, that left shoulder comes to me, and I don't want that to happen. So I'll back him out. Maybe let's back him one more step. Let's ask him to stand out in his own space for a minute. We won't send him out yet. He hasn't learned that yet. But he can sure learn to stand out by himself and develop a little confidence. I don't care where his head goes right now, but I'd rather his feet not move. He's just standing out there. Bring him back into me. Right there. Put him up a little bit. If that shoulder gets too close or tries to derive comfort, well, I'm going to back him back out. Let him stand right there. At some point in time, we'll build on that. We'll ask him to go out to the end of this 12-foot lead, stand in his own space. Nope. Didn't ask him in. Let's lead him around for a second. So I'm going to turn him to the right. And if he crowds me or he doesn't turn to the right, I'm going to use my elbows. But I'm also going to turn this horse to the left. And I know some people don't like turning horses to the left because they worry they're going to step on your feet. But I'm going to use this as an opportunity for my horse to learn where my feet are. For me, I want my horses to be able to turn to the right. I want them to be able to turn to the left without crowding me, without stepping on my feet, and where his head is somewhere in alignment with my shoulder. And then I want him to stop when I stop, without me having to tug on him, without him pushing his left shoulder into me like it's his propensity to do right here. So we'll correct that. Again, we're going to turn to the left, I'm going to turn to the right. We'll stop right there. So when we're first teaching a horse to back off a trailer, a couple of things. Number one, he's got to back well. But number two, I like putting my trailer up against a bank like we've got here, so that first step off with his back feet isn't quite so scary. So we ask our horse to load on. We ask him to back off. And again, that first step down isn't as high as it would be if our trailer was on level ground, and so it doesn't create quite as much fear. I like that. That's a good way to kind of get him started. Once he gets to where he'll back off a trailer well that way, well, then I have an opportunity to pull my trailer up and ask him to do the complete step down. Sometimes it's handy to make use of a loading chute for our young green horses. Gives us an opportunity to be able to control them from going left to right and evading the trailer. It also gives us a short step in because we've got a dirt bank that goes directly up into the trailer, and so the horse has a minimal step into the trailer. Again, he can't go left or right, and we can kind of control all of his activity to help get him successfully loaded for the very first time. Here we've got two horses tied to the trailer. I don't mind doing that. Oftentimes you'll do that at the horse show, the rodeo, or the trail ride. They're tied comfortably. They're tied eye level or above. Okay, I never want my horse to have enough lead where he can put his head down and get his head underneath that lead, or put his head down on the ground and run the risk of putting a foot over that lead. Okay, I don't tie horses to a trailer if the trailer's not attached to a truck, particularly in a 2-horse trailer. Here we've got a big trailer. Even if this trailer weren't attached, these horses aren't going to take this trailer anywhere. But I want to make sure my horses tie well. I want to make sure they're comfortable, and I want to make sure that they're tied in a safe manner. The other thing that I'll do is you know, if I've got 3 or 4 horses, I'll tie them side by side, but I want to make sure they don't chew on each other's gear if I can help it. You might notice the bay horse over on our left here, his bridle's hung over his saddle horn and secured down. I don't ever tie a horse with his bridle reins either. And I know people do, but that doesn't work for me, because if he ever gets himself in trouble and he puts his head underneath his bridle and he pulls up, runs the risk of damaging the corners of his mouth, and I really want to protect that mouth. So I don't tie a horse with his bridle reins. Here I've got these 2 horses saddled and tied on the trailer. I'm ready to haul them from point A to point B. You'll notice that I've got their stirrups down. I'm good with that in this kind of a situation. I want to tie them far enough apart where they can't chew on each other's gear. I want to tie them in a manner that's safe for them, but I don't believe I need to tie their stirrups up over the saddle right here. So we're going to load this saddled horse on a slant load trailer. I've got a narrower entrance. I've got his stirrups tied up over the top of the saddle. I've got his bridle pulled down. I've got his rope pulled off. I don't want anything to hang up while my horse is going onto this trailer or coming back off of this trailer. I don't mind hauling him saddled. Some people don't like to do that, but oftentimes if we're going to go on a trail ride or we're going to go where the cattle are, this is how we'll do it. Sometimes we'll be on a stock trailer like we were earlier. Here we're doing it on a slant load, and again, I've got my stirrups tied over the top to minimize any opportunity for snagging him. And we'll back him off. Good. So one of the things we mentioned earlier was hauling a horse turn loose in a stock trailer by themselves. So we're going to put this filly on the front. And if I'm going to haul a horse loose on a stock trailer like this, again, it's big enough for her to turn around. This trailer is 7 feet wide. Doesn't necessarily have to be 7 feet. The 6'6" will probably be enough, but she has plenty adequate room to be able to turn around. I'm putting her on the stock trailer. I'm pulling her halter and lead off. And I'm closing her on there like that. Don't ever want to haul her haltered and loose, because she might hang her halter on a peg or something on that stock trailer, and I'd rather her just be comfortable and be loose. I like to haul a horse this way if I have an opportunity to, particularly if I'm going long distance, give her own box. Maybe I bed this trailer just a little bit, and she'll pick her own way that she wants to haul. Not a bad way to go. So let's talk about a couple of things, and then we'll finish up here. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, should I wrap my horse's legs when I haul? Me personally, I don't wrap most of my horse's legs. If I've got a horse that it's a scrambler and he's wearing front shoes, or he's just he doesn't ride well for whatever reason, you know, maybe that's a horse I might put bell boots on. If I have a horse that I'm worried about rubbing a hock or rubbing a cannon or something, certainly I might put some shipping boots. I'm not a big fan of standing wraps. One of the problems with standing wraps, we put them on pretty snug. When we get to the horse show, we get to the event, wherever we're heading, you know, we pull those off and we get a big relax in the tendons, and that bothers me a little bit. If you want to put protective boots on your horse because you believe he's safer when he travels, more power to you. Just make sure they're safe, that they don't slip down and go around his coronary band or around the bulbs of his heels and cause him discomfort there. And monitor how much he sweats underneath those boots, particularly in Florida. So get asked a lot, what kind of trailer should I buy? We've shown you a number of trailers here today. We've shown you 2 horses, we've shown you bigger slant loads, we've shown you side-by-sides, we've shown you stock trailers, and there's no one size fits all for everybody. You know, at the end of the day, you've got to find something that works for you and your program. We've shown you a steel trailer, we've shown you an aluminum trailer, we've shown you an aluminum skin over steel trailer down in the 2-horse that we looked at very first. All of those work fine. You know, do I like an aluminum trailer better than a steel trailer? I like the fact that they don't rust. If I'm hauling cattle on my trailer as well, probably the steel trailer may be a little stronger, but I do have to fight that rust. What about a straight load versus a slant load? Personally, I pull a slant load and I like it, but I've had straight loads a number of times in my life and I've gotten along very, very well with them. So I don't necessarily have a preference one way or the other. You know, people oftentimes think that horses travel better in a slant load than a straight load. And maybe some do, but I think they'll all learn to travel well in either style of trailer. You know, that brings us to the stock trailer that we looked at down in the end. What about just having a stock trailer? Does that work well? It really does work well. Now, where it doesn't work well is if you've got a mare that doesn't get along with geldings, you've got a stallion that you want to haul next to other horses, or you've got a horse that just fidgets and paws and strikes on a trailer. Those are all training things that hopefully we can get past, but it does make that one horse a bit of a danger to the other horses. And so in that situation, certainly I'd like to have dividers. 30, 40 years ago, we saw dividers that went the whole way to the floor and horses would brace their feet up against them. Most trailers now have dividers that just cover the shoulder and the hip area, and I like that better. But again, I watch out for that horse that may have a history of scrambling or shoving other horses over in the trailer, and so I want to make sure that I'm safe in those instances. At the end of the day, find something that works for you, that fits within your budget, and buy a nice trailer and take really good care of it. Does your aluminum trailer have to be stored under cover? No, mine don't get to. I like to store my steel trailers under cover, and it certainly makes those last longer. Thanks for watching.